I'm from Turkey. I'm a test automation engineer. I'm UiPath automation developer at UiPath, and I am attending alone to this competition. But in some last days, I had a new team member. Let me introduce my team member, Tester Master. I think he is smart enough to be here with me. Let me introduce the problem and our motivation to develop this solution. The problem is very simple but very complex at same. Frequent code changes with unclear commit messages and development pipelines make complex pipelines make a complex CI/CD circles because developers publish commits that need to analyze, to understand, propose for commits, to understand to the changes at code or at background backend platform. So according this or based this problem, I think to develop a small solution but a very effective solution. My solution is a very smart assistant, a very smart agent can handle, understand the developers commits after release and provide suggestions and provide the related test cases to testers, to QA teams, and give clear reports to present why we are running these test cases for this release. Our solution have a simple structure. We are aiming the test teams and QA teams or development teams or pipelines or I'm sorry, excuse me, or pipeline stages in the development circle. Our user department is IT. Our solution can work for any industry. And for develop this solution, we use the UiPath platform and UiPath products, UiPath Agent Builder, integration service, Maestro, and UiPath Studio. Our solution can integrate naturally with communication channels like Slack and management tools like Jira. Let me tell you a little about benefits for our solution. The first and the main benefit for our solution is a time saving, because QA teams spend a lot of hours and a lot of time to understand the release notes and analyze it and design or execute the tests based the commits and commit notes to execute the right test cases that cover the right sections improved or developed. So when we save time, we are by default increase the accuracy because the intelligent matching between the right test cases and the changes in code give us a most accurate pipelines and test development life circles. And if we increase accuracy, we are by default have faster release circles as I shown. And when we make faster release circles, by default, we improve compliance and traceability for the codes, for the test tasks, and for the test results. And the output for this last output for this solution is a higher value because we are spend less time. We are increase the life circles accuracy and efficiency. Let me tell you a little about our structure. My idea started with the developers and development stage. The developers go with a push requests with a complicated release notes, and that's a very good trigger to trigger the smart solution that can understand this nodes and make communication with the orchestrator to get right test cases to cover these changes. And after that, our agent should be proof reports and test cases lists to execute the test cases and save reports to stockholders and developer teams and Slack channels and Jira channels. So my solution workflow like that start with trigger, as I said, our main solution test case definer agent, and we have communication channels here, and we can integrate with any solution or test execution solution in this part. In the next slide, I will show you the inputs or and outputs of our solution. We can say inputs like commits and natural language like there, and we will get test cases as a list and reports as a natural language reports, and we will get the Jira defect records and Slack messages. Let me go to demo. Let me show.
Ali, I'm sorry, we have run out of time. Ingo, Amol, Andrea, I'll open it up to you in case you want to take up some time from your Q&A to see the demo, or you want to straight away jump into Q&A. Sorry about that.
I'm totally fine giving Ali, just a minute more here, of course. I mean,
yes,
he's brave enough to show off like alone here. Ali, please go on.
Go for it, Ali.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Let me go to the solution. So here we go. I'm here in UiPath Studio Web. That's my project. Let me start faster with the main solution, the agent himself. Let's test on cloud and let's give a commit node, example commit node, and execute it. Execution start, and we can see last run here. Our solution calling with LLM model, GPT model. Our commit node UI change is fixed. It's a very simple node. I tried with a over than 25 evolution before. Complex, wrong commit nodes, null commit nodes. And for this commit node, we had this test cases. This test cases returned by get test cases tool that I developed in the solution environment. It's communicate with orchestrator by webhook API to get test cases that hosted in orchestrator. And we have a report here. The commit node indicates fixed to UI changes, etc. As you can see, if you have to go to the solution workflow, we can test it faster. I don't need to take you a lot of time. Let's start it. Our solution, as I said, start with a trigger, push trigger, get trigger. We are connecting with GitHub here with the integration service tool. Execution started. Let me go to Jira. Our Jira is null here. The test execution started. Our test node here is performance improved, only 2 words. For now, our agent working in background to understand this commit node and retrieve the correct and right test cases from orchestrator.
Ali, I need to stop you there. So we have run out of time. I'll give 1 minute, Amol, Ingo, Andrea, if you have any questions, you can ask in a minute if possible.
All right, so then I'll go first. Ali, thank you ever so much for putting this together. I think it's great work, and it definitely solves, at least from my naive perspective, a problem that's worth solving. Though I see a lot of room for improvement here, but I think it's a fantastic start point. So thank you so much for that. So just to be sure from my perspective, that's the question I have, Ali, is there is no like predefined mapping between any of the changes you have in codes, like your Git commits and the test cases up front, right? So you evaluate that in real time.
Right. There is no mapping. The agent understands the commit in real time, and we don't have any connection with a part of codes or a back-end side.
All right. And you're doing this then just based on the description you find in the test cases or on the structure of the test cases themselves? Are you digging also into like the individual test steps of these test cases to evaluate which ones to select?
No, we are for now. Our agent analyzed the test case description to understand what this test case exactly do. We unfortunately we cannot retrieve the test case steps to agent for this moment or for now.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Ali.
Thank you, sir. Nice
Thank you. Okay, so we are done with the time. Thank you so much, Ali. Really nice presentation and all the best. So we go with the next team. So we already have them ready. AI controls, Manoj and Parul and team. Go for it.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. We are Team AI Controls, and I and Manoj work for NetWest Group, and Shishir is a compliance and security expert. So the problem statement we have for today is basically regulations like Basel III, DORA, and UK SOX are changing faster than your coffee goes cold in a compliance meeting. The regulatory requirements are often written in technical and legal language, and it's really hard to interpret these. So turning these complicated requirements into practical working processes called controls, which takes a lot of time and efforts. So on the top of that, these rules keeps changing. So even after a team sets up control, they have to constantly update and adjust them to stay compliant. So in order to solve this problem, here comes the solution, AI controls. It's our next generation agentic AI platform that takes the pain out of controls. AI controls automate how controls are designed, tested, and updated, while ensuring high standards for both data quality and business compliance. So basically, AI control understands complex regulations. If we have, suppose, Basel III and Basel 3.1 requirement in place, so you don't have to spend a lot of hours in order to decode these requirements. Basically, AI control will read through the regulatory changes and automatically suggest which controls should be added, removed, or modified. These suggestions are then sent to a project manager for review and approval. And basically, it's very important for us to keep human in loop so that they can understand the regulatory data better than the system. So that's why we have this human intervention in place. Once approval is done, it automatically updates key documents like system requirement specification, test plans, and test cases. It also deploys AI agents to test control 24/7. There are no breaks, no complaints. And yes, it even generates audit-ready evidences for regulators while you grab your coffee. So I'm handing over to Manoj for the demo. Thank you.
Thank you, Parul. Hi, everyone. So this is the main UI of the AI control app. As you can see on the screen, it is asking to upload two documents. So first one is my old Basel document, which I have just uploaded. And second one is my new one where the rules have changed. Now I'll just hit start execution. The first thing this app will do here is it will upload both the documents to my storage bucket and start executing my Maestro workflow. So inside my orchestrator, we can now see the process has started executing. Now let's see the live action in Maestro. Sometimes it takes time. So if I go to my Maestro, the first agent that is going to trigger here is my AI document compare. What it does, it compares both the documents, my old Basel and the new Basel with the rule change. It identifies it line by line using obviously LLM and creates a summary in the CSV format. And after that, it will be passed to the human just for the validation whether the changes that the bot is suggesting is right or not. As you can see, the task has already been assigned to myself. It contains 3 things. Obviously, my old Basel, new Basel, and the logs here. So for demo purposes, I'll just hit approve that I'm happy with the changes. And the next, it is going to trigger a metadata retrieval workflow, which is nothing which, so we have got a data stored in the data fabric against each controls, like all the SRS, test case, test plan, the control automation, control script, everything is there in that metadata table. So it goes to that table, find the rules which has got affected, find those SRS and other documents, and then pass it to my third coordinate agent, which is, you can say, the heart of this whole Maestro workflow, which takes all the requirements and updates 3 documents. The first one is obviously my SRS, so it updates the SRS with the revised one. Second one is my test case document, and the third one is test plan. So it will update all the 3 documents within just one agent. And once this gets complete, it will now open another task for the human for validation, obviously. So it is now started running, and at the bottom you can see that it has like started running this process. This will take a minute or 2 max. And once this is done, so now it is taking longer time. It happens during demo as well. So now I can see I have my task ready in my action center. And these are my 9 documents. If you can see on my screen, existing versus revised, existing test plan versus revised, and test case document versus test case, along with all the logs. So I just hit approve that I'm happy with the changes. Moving back to Maestro. Now my final coded agent will call, which will basically update the query or whatever script or Excel script or macro script or Python script, whatever is there associated with that particular thing. It is there in that table of the metadata. It will take those query, take those scripts, update it accordingly, and then again pass the updated query to the human user for validation. So it is just taking another 15 or 20 seconds more, and then it will open another task for the human just to make sure that the bot or the agent has fixed everything in the right manner. Moving back to my action center. So this is my validate query action task. So it contains 3 things. It is taking longer time now. So I'll just hit approve for now. So that's done. Moving back to Maestro. Now we have got 2 processes. So the first process will run the actual automation. If you see the control automation here, so we have got automation against every control. So it will just execute that automation with that updated SQL script or Python script and returns the result back to the SME. And after that, once everything is done, it will send me all the data, all my SRS, all my documents to my email, which would look something like this. Sometimes email takes time. So as you can see here, this is my SRS logs. So this was the change in SRS docs file. This was the old clause. This is a new one. This was the original text, and then we have the updated one. So this is how
Manoj, you're eating from the Q&A time slot. Okay. Sorry to interrupt. You can continue.
That's all right. Yeah. So this is us. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have one question on this. Do you think that over time and seeing the results be successful, that you'll rely less on the human in the loop and more on the results that you're actually getting from the agent?
Yes, that should be the plan, but we are working with the banking and finance industry, so we can't just take human out of the loop. So ideally, the thing here is we will still rely on human with obviously agentic AI processing. Before LLM, it was very hard to achieve this task in you can say in a week or so. It takes, I've seen that it takes sometimes months or sometimes 3-4 months to just update if any regulations from the government side gets changed. So yes, there's a possibility that human intervention would be less, but we can't just like move human out of this equation, because if we do that and bot does something wrong, the government might impose us some fine. So some human intervention should be required over there.
So Andrea, in this case, just wanted to add one more thing. So in this case, it's kind of a second step, a review kind of thing, which we generally also do in our, and then the example that we have taken, it's related to Basel, which is regulatory related. So that's why, we just thought that every step where it's important, there will be a kind of review that, whatever bot is doing should be done by a team member. So project manager in this case. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, Manoj, you want to add something?
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Quite a valid use case. I dropped a few comments on the Zoom chat, but it was very interesting, and I think more could be done here, even from the apps point of view. More visualization, something which is it will usually be useful for the human approver, and of course more generative capabilities from AI. But yeah, it was an interesting use case. Thank you.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Thank you, Amol. Yeah, because if you look at the possibilities, there are endless possibilities. We have just started focusing on the rules that got changed. But if you think about like other journeys, like a rule got added or some rules got obsolete, so we can also include those into this journey. Obviously, for demo purposes, we have just cut through the document so that we can just show you how this journey would look like. But yes, in terms of putting all this together, this can like become an agent for the future as well.
So agree, Amol. This is something that we are planning in our team also. So maybe at that point of time we will just go through your idea. It's a really good suggestion. So definitely we will look for the app and rest of the thing. So yes, as we move on further, so we will kind of incorporate all these changes and we'll build something better. Thank you.
Manoj, Parul, just a quick comment from myself. I cannot hold myself back, Rohit. Sorry, our timekeeper already looks angry at me. I just want to say thank you for this impressive work. I'm definitely one of your end users here because I'm always facing those, problems, understanding compliance rules and applying them appropriately. Guys, let's definitely catch up later on. I would love to explore ways how we can better integrate even in our product. Even in test manager and things like that, I think I see big opportunity there. So thank you so much. I'll catch you later.
Sure, Ingo, anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Perfect. Thank you, Ingo. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Parul. So over to the next team quickly. SoloPath. Hi, Dhruva, are you there? You can speak.
Hello. Hi.
Yes. You can share your screen and get started when you are ready.
I'm not able to open the video. Zoom is unable to detect evidence. Something problem with the camera. So I don't know what's in camera.
Camera is fine. You can share screen if you are able to share screen.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible, and you can start when you're ready. We will start the timer at that time.
Okay, so I'm ready.
Yes, go for it. If you want to put in full screen mode, you can do that.
Yeah. So yeah, my name is Dhruva Kalita. I am the solo contributor and developer in my team. So today I am excited to walk you through our intelligence based automation framework built using the UiPath. So designed to make QA testing smarter, more resilient, and self-healing. So this is the problem statement. So when I first started working on test automation using UiPath, my focus was on building a robust framework and preparing a required test cases. Once that was in place, then I began to execute like around 2,000 test cases using the test manager. But there's I started noticing some challenges. Like some test cases would pass one day and fail the next day, even though nothing had changed in the code. So this is the flaky behavior. So I saw sometimes that certain failure were not easy to explain. So this is the anomaly behavior. And sometimes I realized that we were repeatedly running the same test cases that already had the stable results. So this is wasting time and resources. So these were the redundant execution. So in my architecture, so each of these pain points is handled by dedicated and intelligent agents and working independently. So these are the end user. So definitely QA team and team lead test manager, definitely they can use it. So let me go to that agents that we are using, that anomaly detection agent we are using, a redundancy detection agent, flaky test detection agent, and auto healing agent. So anomaly detection agent, it detects the abnormal behavior in test run, like duration, spike, or unexpected failure. Redundancy, it flags test. Sorry. Okay, so that the redundancy is flagged that always behave the same, which may be redundant. And then the flaky test detection identify the tests that fail intermittently without the code change. An auto healing agent, so it automatically applies the known fixes and configuration update when the failure occurs. So let me go to the live demo again. So see, this is my Maestro design. So I will run the test and I will explain at the same time. So this is the start event. So we begin with the start event. Then we are giving some timer. So there is some 8-second delay, allowing all the dependent service to initialize properly before simulation start. So this is the simulate test execution. Since we don't have any real-time application, so we are doing testing in some real application. So we want to simulate. We are simulate some test scenario, like we need some test data. So we mimic some tests, and when we execute it, we get some test data. So these are the test data we have taken. So we randomly some test cases we pass, and we randomly some test cases fail. We are giving some error messages and duration. So this component actually mimics the actual execution over the 2000 test cases and generate the structured CSV file with the results, including test name, status, duration, and the error message. So this is the parallel split. So it will, once the data is ready, the flow is split into 3 different agents, is handled by intelligent agents working independently. So this anomaly agent, the detection agent checks for unusual pattern in test behavior, like unexpected failure or sudden spike in the test duration. Redundancy agent, similarly, like I already told you that the test cases that always return the same results. And the flaky, like sometimes it is intermittently giving the false positive, like sometimes fail, in another day it is fail. So this is the decision point. So if no anomaly detected, then it is giving the end process. If anomaly is detected, it will go to the QA team. The QA team will see the details results in a mail, and at the same time they will create the bug. So we can use here the auto healing, but in my scenario demo purpose it was difficult. That's why I removed it. So in the create issue, that the bug will be created in the Jira. So let me show you that a mail, like it was like just now, no? I said it, no? So like all the trace result we can see here in a mail. Like analysis of the CSV content has been completed, 5 flaky tests identified, and it will give the remediation suggestion. So based on the remediation suggestion, we can auto healing that the test case. So it add explicit way to handle the timer error, stabilize the UI selector. And similarly, like this is the redundant test case. So analysis completed, one potentially redundant test identified, and redundant suggestion review the test cases and consider removing or merging the similar test cases. Similarly, for anomaly also, we'll get all the analysis of the results, and it will give the remediate suggestion. And also automatically it will create the ticket in the Jira. So we don't need to manually create. So it is very time consuming and it will reduce our time. Let me show you my agents. These are all the agents. These are the system from user from. this is the flaky agent, this is the redundancy agent. So that we are integrated in the Maestro. So let me go to again that slide. So we are using the tool Studio, Agents, Maestro, Gmail integration, Jira integration. This is the diagram that we already discussed here. The anomaly detection agent that I already told you, that the logic I implemented, that in the CSV container, when it is the status is fail and duration is more than 1.5, then I generate as an anomaly detection. Just for the it is just for the simulate to real time. So it will give the list of anomaly output, corresponding repeated suggestion and summary, and automatically mail will go to the QA team. Similarly for the redundancy identification. So here also the same, like it will check the variation. And for the flaky test, it says the both pass or fail. If it is intermittently pass or fail, then it will give as a flaky. And it will give the all the output like a summary, list of flaky test time, count, remediation suggestion. So we integrate the Gmail integration, Gmail integration and the Jira integration. Yeah, so it reduces the manual ticketing workload, ensure the fast rising, and enable the real-time traceability to detection the solution. So yeah, so that's for my side, and we welcome the question and answer.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dhruva. These are some of the core problems we are trying to solve within the product as well. I think Ingo can definitely agree to this. Really great. I think this is something that we would want for our testers in our test product. We already have certain such insights that we bring in, but I understand the ability to customize what kind of reports you want, what kind of outputs you want from the analysis that you want to do from the results is something which I think we should bring in more. But yeah, this looks great. Ingo, your thoughts here?
Yeah, you see me smiling. I think it did again, truly addresses a problem that's not only worth solving, it's really big out there. I've been, in those shoes too, fixing, failing, and flaky automated tests all day long. So I can definitely relate to this problem. Thank you so much for this impressive work. I think it's definitely a solution that saves time. And I also like the way you have structured it. I think it's fairly customizable so that you can kind of, what I always value, it's like open, that you can add your simple rules, whatever you think is an anomaly, whatever you think is the best method to measure flakiness and things like that. Again, I would love to catch up later with you on that in order to explore ways of partnership here, to bring it closer into our product.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
you. We still have some 50 seconds. Andrea, any questions from your side?
No questions. That was a great use of multi-agentic flow, though, so I really appreciate that. I'll see a lot of potential.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And guys, feel free to share also these agents. I don't know what the plan is, Rohit, but also with the larger community on our marketplace, if that's possible, make it accessible, create value for like the vast community we have out there.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dhruva, and yes, all the praises keep coming in. A request for other, the audience as well. Feel free to share your feedback, your inputs about these teams on chat. If you like something about those, if you feel that something can be added, improved, any suggestions that you have, chat is a great place. Also, if you have any questions about these, solutions or teams, post it on chat, and we will, the finalists, once the presentation is done, they can revert on chat there as well. So that's it. Let's move on to the next team. Maestro Agentic Support Management.
Hello. Hello, Rohit.
Yes,
hello, everyone.
Yes, Gajanan and Ajit. Dhruva, can you stop sharing, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Gajanan, just share screen, and whenever you're ready, whenever you start, we will start the timer.
I am ready. Like I'm just sharing my screen. Hello everyone. My name is Gajanan Patil, and here I'm to present, a very good use case of agentic process Maestro automation. This is enterprise live. We are happy to say that we are having some clients, those who are using this use case. This is a combination of intelligent agents along with testing agents and Maestro. So I'll just introduce my team: Ajit, myself, Rohit, and Rita. We four are the core team members over here. I'll just quickly walk through the timer. So as we have very less time to go, usually COE team and ROC team face many challenges. COE team face many challenges when the center of excellence coming to picture, right? And ROC team, if there are a lot of ITSM ticketing tools like Jira or ServiceNow, there are a lot of ticketing tools that L1 teams need to handle the tickets by themselves. This is a perfect place where our agents will do all the things for you. The reason for using this product is because there is lot of projects like we have worked previously where SLA gets breached because human are involved. There are a lot of failure in runs. There are a lot of credential expires and we don't know the credentials even expired. So this is the perfect way to use our agent. We have 16 agents that are in place and that we can play around with. We have context grounding in place for all the processes. This automatically detects the live run, the issues for it, and then it can create the test cases for them, execute them, create Jira tickets, resolve the Jira tickets automatically. For all the production runs we have in place, there are like whether system exceptions or business exception, this will auto resolve tickets for them. If their documentation is clear, we have the context grounding clear. In case it's not clear, no worries, it will assign the particular the ticket to the particular user or the business user. Okay, I will quickly walk through the solution map in like 30 seconds. You can trigger this process by both ways. If there is like real-time failure, it can go from production failure, it can automatically trigger. This is multi-agent bot. You have a lot of agents. If you want to run a particular agents, right, you can go and select these agents. Okay, so it will go from here, it will validate whether it's actually a run, it's required, and then if it's not required, it's not able to understand, it will just say invalid response received and assign to the user. Post this, it will create a Jira ticket if it's doing some testing. Then it will come and classify what type of exception it is, whether it's like business exception, system exception, we need to perform any tests, regression tests, smoke tests, what kind of testing we need to perform, right? And then it will filter the exception. Post that, it will categorize. So categorization has different agents, right? For system exception, we have different categorization of agents. For business exception, we are different. And similar to if that is invalid, here is where the texting comes into the picture, and then it might be with the infra issues as well. So all the infra issues are taken care here, right? And end of that, the success notification is done. We are integrating this with various tools. I'll just go quicker and show you the agents. This is the phase one that we started initially, and eventually we ended with phase two. Phase one is integrated with Maestro and is like a one process. Phase two, you can like you have agent flash test. You can do a quicker regression test, smoke test of your existing RPA processes. I'll just show you what are the products we use. We have used agents, Maestro, integration tools like Slack, communications tools, Slack, Teams, and other. This can be used anywhere into the existing processes that we have in place. I will just quickly hand over this to Ajit, my teammate, and he will just show you the demo for this. Ajit, over to you.
Thank you so much for wonderful explanation, Gajanan. I'm going to share. Just let me know once my screen is visible.
Yep, run it.
Is visible? Yeah, so here I'm going to explain our enterprise ready product. So here, are you going to believe like with the help of single request, our intelligent agent is capable to handling the production failures end to end, detecting the issues, then recommending what is the next best actions, then even triggering the automated testing, what are the failure cases in test manager. So without any delay, I'm going to run the process. So here, So I'm going to put one request. Hi team, could you please initiate the production management support, engineering support for this week? So for the demo purpose, I'm going to run in the front end. So here we can run through the multiple ways, through the Slacks, Outlook, Teams, in multiple ways we can run. Then we can use the webhooks whenever production, any process got failure in production, automatically it will trigger this process. So it will identify what is the production bug, then it will fix accordingly. So now we can see, so our first agent, I used, yeah. First, it will read the what is the customer response with help of our RPA bot. The second, it will we're using the chat validation agent, so it will check whether it is a this record is a normal conversation or is related with the production support or testing related. Once it's done, it will send the greeting message to our team's message. You can see that. You can see hi team, greeting from the RPA master team. We are appreciating your request. So bot begin with the process, right? Then once it's done, again for the cross-checking purpose, we have used one more RPA bot, including the agent. It will cross-check everything. Once it's done, yeah, it's running here only. So after validation, it will come here. It will check, for example, for the production issues, we need the summary report as a evidence, right? So from here, bot will check, bot will first initially create the ticket. Hey team, we are going to create pulling the summary report from the orchestrator. Kindly check. Okay. Yeah, you can see that. So the validation has been completed. So here bot has been created the issue Jira ticket for the pulling the summary report from the Jira orchestrator. So I will show the Jira tickets. So this is for pulling the summary report from the orchestrator. Then it assign to the respective team, right? Then once it's done, you can see once it's done, those report will send you to the two different agents. One agent, it will check which category it is, whether it is banking department, whether it is healthcare, whether it is finance department. Then second agent, it will validate. This agent will validate which kind of issue, whether it is related with the system, whether it is related with the business, whether it is related with the invalid. Okay, post validation, this will give the auto suggestion to the next agent. So this agent will validate what is the exception rate. Let's say for example, if we have 100 plus process in production, so out of 100, 60 to 70 process got failed, so almost we will got a 70 to 80% exception rate, right? If it is more than 50%, it will send to the human validation in the action center. They will validate, okay, what we need to do, whether they want to do the testing, whether they want to do the escalation to the respective stakeholder, whether like there is no issue, good to go. So if it is below than 50% exception rate, bot will do the next action. You can see that here.
Yeah. Ajit, we
yeah.
have just 2 minutes in the Q&A pending.
Sure.
Andrea, if you want to ask questions or if you want to continue, open for that. Amol, Andrea, Ingo, anything from your
Almost
side?
it's done.
No questions for me, so we can continue if that's okay.
Yeah. Yep. Go for it.
Okay. So if it is system exception, you can see a bot has been our agent give the decision. It will go and create the respective Jira ticket. Then it will notify to the user on Teams. Okay. Once it's done, if it is system exception, what is the possible reason for system exception? Whether some code level issue, whether it is some application health issues, application configuration issue, or application server, there is in the backend server issues or whatever it is. So 4 different checks will get populated in the test manager. 4 different requirements, 4 different test cases. So I will show the test cases. So requirement, you can see those requirement got created. Then it's got executed 3 minutes before, right? So all the test cases. So it will check if it is, let's say for example, if it is any code level issue, it will notify to the coding team, which means the development team. If it is any issue with the application configuration or application health issues or server response, lag response, means it will directly notify the infrastructure team. So here we are validating with the help of VB.NET, then agents. You can see all the 4 things got passed. So which means from the application end, then from the code level, there is no issue, everything is working fine, but our agent will auto suggest. You can see that all the things will track into the our team message. You can see this is the final, like all the evidence. where bot is going, what bot is doing, right? So you can see the affected code test case has been successfully tested, application configuration, application health, then application API response. All the test cases successfully tested.
Yeah, we can wrap up. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Any comments from Amol, Ingo, Andrea, just in a minute?
Yeah, quick one from my side. So first of all, thank you so much for this comprehensive solution, I would say. Let's call it a hell of an agent you have built here. A quick question I have is, can you also kind of, handle scenarios, or is it part of your solution already where you say you got a ticket and you cannot find, any kind of checks in terms of test cases, for example, in your solution? Does that agent also make you aware of that you kind of have a gap here?
Here, yeah, through the job records, we are validating what kind of issue it is. If it is more than beyond our limit, it will directly navigate to the human in the loop. But most probably, it will categorize whether the system exception, then business invalid. So based on that, it will navigate to it will create the test case in test manager. It will try to resolve as soon as possible. Try to involve the lot of people, ROC team, testing team, developer team. So all the works will get done by our agents only. If it is unable to find this particular exception, it will send it to the human in the loop for the action.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Gajanan. You can stop sharing and we will quickly move to the next team. While the next team is loading, Amol, Andrea, Ingo, I hope you are updating the score sheet live. So if you aren't already doing it, please do that. Next team, be ready. BotBuilders, are you there?
Yes, Rohit, I will be going to. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you start, we'll start the timer then. Okay.
Yeah. Is my screen visible? Is PPT visible?
Yes, PPT is visible now.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, you can start.
So hi everyone. Today I'm here to give you the demo for our autonomous test case creator agent we have created. I have my team members with me, Vinith and Rohan. So here's the problem statement that whenever we are creating some test cases for a web application, we need to analyze that web application thoroughly. We need to check all the input elements, input fields, buttons, everything, to see how we can create some test cases for that website to test it end to end. So there is a high manual effort that a tester need to analyze that website like for entire day or 2 days or 3 days, any time period he wants. But we have created one agent who can analyze that website from his HTML code, and it will create some test cases. It will also like detect the interactions and validations on that website. It will create generative adaptive test cases, and also in future we have scope to integrate our test manager to automatically create those test cases. So as of now we are not doing that because we need some human interventions like to manually validate those test cases if we require those. Then the end users will be the QA engineers, test automation teams, and DevOps engineers who will be creating test cases. Department will be quality assurance, industry will be information technology, because we will be creating test cases for web applications. The products which I have used is Agent Builder, Studio Web, Orchestrator, UiPath Maestro, and Test Manager. So what are the benefits? So we will be creating 80% faster test cases here. There will be no human error. Sometimes if a human fails to validate that website properly, or it misses anything from that website, it may cause a human error, right? So but robot will not do that. It will analyze all those UI elements and it will create test cases on the basis of that. So here is the solution architecture I have created 3 flows. First flow will analyze the website and it will get the HTML content from that website. The second flow is the agent itself. It will analyze that HTML code and it will find all the input elements, and it will create test cases on that. And the third flow will generally create one Excel, which later I can upload into the test manager to create the test cases. So let's get deep dive into the demo directly. So hope my orchestrator is visible to you all. So for demo purpose, I will be going with this website. This website holds an practice form. I will copy this link. So this is the agentic process. I will start running this. So the first workflow has been started. It will open that link. It will download the HTML code. So after downloading the HTML code, it will read that code and it will pass that code to the agent. It has downloaded. Okay, let me retry. So it has gathered all the HTML code and it has passed it to the agent now. So agent in the backend, it is analyzing all the elements. Yeah, it has analyzed all the elements. Now it is going to create a Excel. So we should have that Excel here in the storage bucket itself. Yes, we have. We can download this Excel. In the Excel, we can find the elements found by the robot, and here are the test cases created on the basis of those elements. For example, if we have found this email element, so here we have the scenarios: positive, negative, security, everywhere. Like, and then we have description what that test case we can do, like enter a valid email address, and then we have some expected results as well. And once we have this Excel downloaded, we can go to the test manager, test cases, import test cases. We can use our by default functionality to import. We can give a prompt get all test cases from test cases sheet. So after previewing it, to save time, I have already did that one. So it will preview the test cases like in this way. So whatever test cases required, I can select and click on the create test cases. So it will create test cases in the test manager for me with the descriptions added. So on the basis of that, I can create all those test cases in my studio and work on it. So that's it from my end.
Thank you. I think that's a really interesting use case where you used it to extract HTML and then create test cases out of it. Have you thought of multi-page test cases? Think of more like a test scenario, which is cross-cutting, goes across pages. You know, like the loan application is what we call that in UiPath. How would you tackle that with this solution? How can we expand the solution to that?
Okay, so for that, as of now, we didn't think of that situations because what we do in the web application thing, we are doing the testing for the single page. Like it will add all the fields like form, web forms. It will check for all the fields if it works fine, and then it will check if that required fields are being placed correctly or not. So in that perspective, we have created this agent, but for sure we can create that multi-page test cases as well in future. Like we need to think of the solution. That will be the improvement.
I'll add on that point. Like we can loop through like we can call the agents multiple times, and we can pass the URL that we want to gather the test cases for, suppose for the loan application that you are saying. So if it has multiple pages, and if you are navigating from page one to another one, so we can get the URL of that particular page that we are navigating, and we can pass that attributes that we are going to get of that particular URL, and we can pass it to the agent, and we can create the test cases as well.
And then do you think you need more context beyond grabbing the HTMLs of all the pages, or the HTML content good enough for us?
Yeah, from the testing perspective, like if you have the if you are testing on the input fields or the drop downs, so based on that, like all information that we can get it from the attributes which HTML has, and it actually has those tags and basically the attributes which gives the information, and based on that we can create the test cases.
Yeah, thank you so much, Darshan and Binit. Solid work. Thumbs up. Thank you so much for that. I just have a quick recommendation, a suggestion, probably for the next step. You know, whenever you create test cases, you're doing it basically, you know, with the information that's in the DOM of your web app. I think that's a good starting point. But in order to create like some solid test cases, you need some source you can test against, right?
Okay.
So some sort of requirement or requirement specification. I think the step you have right now is fantastic because you get like more context information of the application, but having like, you know, what the application is actually supposed to do, I think that piece is what you're really missing. So if you could bring that together, that would be awesome. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ingo, for the feedback. Definitely, we will try to work on that thing and we will get back.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you, Darshan. Thank you, Vineet. Great work. So we are halfway there and we have 5 more to go. So TestOps AI. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. So once you start, we will start the timer.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
All right. Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to introduce you all with our AgentHack project, which is Agent Workspace, a space for multiple intelligent agents.
Tanya, I'm seeing your presenter screen. In case you want to switch screens, you can do that.
Is it now okay? Okay. This is our team TestOpsAI. Next slide, please. Yeah. So as development and deployment cycle get faster, QA processes started struggling to keep up with scattered requirements. As we know, requirements all over the places, and they are coming from different project management tools, documents, and even emails. And QA teams spend hours just to try to figure out what exactly need to be tested. Test case creation is slow and manual. We have limited visibility over what requirements are being tested and what is missed. Test execution and scheduling is still a manual effort. And finally, delayed feedback to SMEs. Usually they got informed after something has already gone wrong. So this entire inefficient QA process is impacting worldwide, leading significant time and resource wastage. To the solution, we have brought test automation agentic framework, has unifies test design, automation, and execution through intelligent agents. Starting from ServiceNow, agent could capture requirement, auto-generate test cases in UiPath Test Manager, and validate them with SMEs via Slack or Teams. Using Autopilot and object repositories, test cases are fine-tuned, published to Orchestrator. Agents then handle scheduling, execution, and result analysis to create smarter, optimized test sets. eliminating manual effort and flaky runs. This scalable framework enables consistent standardized QA across industries worldwide. So we have covered Agent Builder, Maestro Test Manager as a UiPath product in our process. Talk about the benefits. We cut manual effort by up to 70%, which earlier was taking 2 to 3 hours. We have accelerated QA cycle by over 50%. With early SMEs engagement and real-time alert, feedback loops are now 40% quicker. So this is the solution architecture, the heart of solution. The test automation agentic architecture broke into 3 core phases: test design, test automation, test execution, and management. It all begins in ServiceNow, where an agent detects a new task and auto-create a requirement in UiPath Test Manager. Another agent picks that up, generates the test cases out of it, and immediately notifies SMEs via Slack or Teams or emails for early validation and eliminating delays and misalignment. Once validated, we move to the test automation phase. Here agents use UiPath Autopilot and object repositories to generate test workflows. These are then corrected and fine-tuned by developer, linked back to test manager, and published to orchestrator. In the final phase, test execution and management, agents automatically create test sets, schedule runs, post-execution. They perform the smart performance check and dynamically build high-impact test sets based on prior results. If any defect found, they immediately raise the ticket. Otherwise, results are pushes directly to SMEs via Slack or Teams. So from here, I will hand over to Aman. Aman, over to you for the demo.
Thank you, Tanya. Let me switch to my demo screen. Is my Maestro visible to you? Yes, you can confirm.
Yes, yes, it is. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So this is the Maestro flow from where Tanya is left. So in our 3-phase testing framework, test design, test automation, and test execution, we are now demonstrating the 3rd phase, test execution. I'm starting the flow. So we start with the test creation and execution agent. What this agent will do, it will automatically compiles previously designed test cases into a test set and triggers the execution for it. As you can see, the execution has just started. Meanwhile, let's look at how the requirements are being managed. So for the requirement part, so we are taking consideration the ServiceNow portal from on which the QA will be creating the stories, as you can see on the screen. So these are the stories created by the QA team and with the supporting documents. From there onwards, the requirement agent will come into the picture and will retrieve the details from here and will create the requirements on the test manager. Also, for the requirements, it will create few test cases and the flow will send for approval to the business team. As you can see, the test manager portal where the requirements been created. So this was the part of our first phase, the requirement agent, which we have showcased in our first demo we have submitted. So these are the requirements created and also the test cases. We can see the execution has started. You can see here, this execution is running currently. These are the agents and flows which are being used in our Maestro flow. So there's a log, and there are 3 agents currently: log agents, a requirement agent, test case and execution agent, and retry agent. So as we can see, the currently the execution is completed and logs check is taking place. So what logs check agent is doing, the logs check agent will be reading the execution log for you and will create a detailed report considering of past and test case, past and failed test cases, and will send out to the SABs via Slack and on email. Also, for the failed test cases, it will create an incident on the service now. So let's see it here. Refresh it. So you can see the 10031 incident has been created with the description and also the failed test cases. You can see the test case name and test case ID which is being failed, and also the analysis of the agent under the observed issue. And next in line is the retry failed cases agent. So what this agent will be doing, so after the report is being sent, it will fetch the test cases which are being failed and put it into a separate test set and will trigger the execution for it. So this is the end-to-end automation test execution with full visibility and minimal manual efforts taking place here. And so this is a business-ready solution. And you can see the first agent which we have showcased, the requirement test case creation agent. Just let me walk through to that. So this is the system.
Yeah, we are just like 1 minute 15 seconds.
Yeah. So this is a
time
system
in
prompt,
Q&A.
user prompt, tools attached, and the context grounding for which the document has been provided for the reference. The execution history. You can see the execution test sets have been created, the Maestro flow, and this is the email which is sent by the bot with the report of 3 past cases and 2 failed cases. And also the communication is sent over to the Slack as well. Let me this is the Slack message being sent of past 3, and also the notifications will be sent out for the creation of test sets, the requirements. All notifications will be sent out at some point of time to the business users and SMEs.
Cool. Any questions, guys?
Yeah, I have one. I know you guys start with ServiceNow, and it looks like that is a pretty manual process as far as actually entering. Have you considered using an agent to actually initiate and create the test cases instead of having a user enter those?
So the test cases is already being created by the agent only. It's just that the requirements and the documents, supporting documents is being provided by the QA team. And rest of the things, the requirement creation on the test manager and the respective test cases is taken care by the agent only.
Okay, so it's the requirements that are in ServiceNow.
Yeah, it's just the requirements.
All right, great, thank you.
All right, quick comment from my side. Tanya, Aman, thank you so much. Tanya, I especially loved your intro. With the drama story, I really loved that. You really addressed the FOMO factor in me. So thank you so much for that. What I really like about is the 360 perspective, that you see that process really end to end. So I think that's fantastic, that you're not just addressing one specific aspect, but all the aspects that really matter. Just my naive recommendation would be, apart from addressing like which test cases do I need for requirements, you could also, as a next step, probably address like the maintenance aspect. Let's imagine you have hundreds or even thousands of test cases already, and those requirements change in ServiceNow. That's a huge effort, right? That's a pain point for many of the testers out there. So if you can help them with that agent, and I think your agent is easily adjustable to that use case, that would be awesome. That's all I have. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Ingo.
Thank you.
So we'll have to quickly move to the next one. OT, are you ready?
Yeah, ready. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
Yes, we'll start the timer once you start presenting.
See my screen okay? Can you guys see my screen okay?
Oh. Yeah, it's not loading.
No, not yet.
Okay. Try this again.
Yeah, now it's coming up.
Okay.
In just a sec, it's still. Yep, finally. Yes.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. Once you start, we'll start the timer.
Okay. Yeah, hi, my name is Darren, and I'm representing OTOT Technologies today and talking to you about how we harnessed agentic pipelines to identify reusable workflows within test case suites. OTOT Technologies is a gold partner with UiPath in the public sector. We create automation solutions for government agencies. These are my colleagues that help develop what you'll see today. Let's jump in by resurfacing a problem that all of us test automation developers can relate to. A new project has come up where manual regression libraries seems endless. Test cases are not written in the same format, and your team is testing a whole new software system. Oh, and by the way, the project needs to be delivered in 3 months. The first thing we might try to do is identify reusable components. But how do we accomplish this? Currently, we have to do this task manually, divide and conquer, but this takes too much time. Teams are pressed for time during project ramp up, so they might not be as thorough as they would like. The test cases that do get manually analyzed are not always in the same linguistic structure, thus making it harder to identify repeatability within test steps, especially when testing against new software systems. This manual process is not scalable, so changes to project scope are going to result in tech debt in the form of reworks, enhancements, and duplicate efforts. This is where Agentic pipeline comes in. Our pipeline cleverly uses multiple agents to make sense of test case suites. The biggest impact our pipeline makes is on your team's speed to quickly analyze a test suite. It identifies opportunities for reusable workflows that are shared across the suite within minutes through the use of UiPath agents. These results can be delivered consistently regardless of project phase to give you and your team a bird's eye view of the project. So let's take a look at some of the features of our agentic pipeline. Test suite conversion. The pipeline translates Excel-based test case files into JSON, which the UiPath agents can use for processing. Workflow identification. 4 agents leveraging ChatGPT 4.0 will simplify test case language, identify steps, categories, and modular reusable workflows. Human-in-the-loop interaction. Developers can fine-tune the agent's output via Action Center. Backlog creation. Agentically created Jira tickets are logged in the connected backlog. Now let's take a look at how our solution works and what makes it unique. So the process starts with a master test case file in the form of an Excel spreadsheet, and it's uploaded to a storage bucket and orchestrator. Our 4 agents process the data and make sense of the test case steps. The agent's recommendations are sent to Action Center for a human in the loop to fine-tune the results if needed. And finally, it logs the workflows as tickets in the team's Jira backlog via integration service. Now let's take a deeper look at the 4 agents that make up our pipeline. First, we have the cleaning agent, which removes excess white space, spacing issues, and formatting artifacts. Next, the normalization agent normalizes text to create uniformity across the test suite. Then the categorize agent, which is where the magic happens, looks at the test case step as a whole and identifies repeatability within the steps and opportunities for workflows to be created for those steps. The findings are saved as context for the consolidate agent. Next, the consolidate agent, using the context that was just generated, groups the child workflows into an overarching parent workflow. So for example, we may have a child workflow that is titled Update Invoice Items with a parent workflow of Manage Invoice. So now that we've learned about the problem that our agentic pipeline solves and how it flows together, let's jump over to Studio to see it in action. While I was presenting, I went ahead and kicked off our pipeline just to save a little bit of time. Our 3 agents have already processed the data and have come up with recommended reusable workflows for each of the test steps, for each of the test case steps where appropriate. So let's continue the pipeline where we'll save some Excel files or Excel tables to the storage bucket that'll be used later in the automation for reference. Here, we're generating the context for the consolidation agent from the results of the previous 3 agents. This is important because it gives the consolidation agent the full context of the test suite. This allows the consolidation agent to condense child workflows into parent workflows, having the entire test library for reference. Next, we're creating an Excel file where the data from the 4 agents is combined to be sent over to the Action Center for our human-in-the-loop interaction. Now let's jump over to Action Center to see what our agents have come up with. As you can see here, we have access to the test case name, the action, which is the test step itself, the suggested child workflow, the suggested parent workflow, and variants that might give context to the recommended workflow names. Developers can edit, add, and remove where necessary. And then once the item in Action Center is resolved, the pipeline will log the recommended workflows in the connected Jira board. Let's take a look at that quickly. Here's our 28 workflows that can be worked on and picked up by developers at the beginning of the project. We indicate with the label that the workflow has been generated agentically and it is a reusable workflow. Let's connect the dots on why our agentic pipeline should be important to your next test automation project. By having agents do the job of identifying reusable workflows, we aim to reduce the manual effort of the test automation planning phase by 60 to 80%, giving developers and project managers a bird's eye view of the test suite within minutes. Developers will be able to collaborate better without stepping on each other's toes. You should never have to duplicate work again. This is an endless return on investment. It delivers time savings across the beginning, middle, and end of the project lifecycle. It's also an evergreen scalable process, meaning as scope evolves, this pipeline can be redeployed to continue to unlock any additional efficiencies and workflows. And the outcome of all this, it delivers a comprehensive snapshot that is going to it delivers a comprehensive snapshot with clear visibility into scope, complexity, and strategic impact for developers and managers. Thanks for learning about how OTOT is using agents of the future. Are there any questions?
I have one. Darren and team, thank you so much. To me, like that's a solution that, simply speaking, just makes sense. I have to say, it really just makes sense because it's valuable. My question is, you said you can consume and process Excel-based test cases, right?
Yes.
Do you have any plans to kind of extend that to analyze big portfolios of already, sets of automated test cases you built, for example, in Studio? Because I know loads of our customers are having these problems, right? They build hundreds, again, or even thousands of automated test cases, and then like they notice, oh, I have literally zero modularity and reusability in them. So I now need to kick off another project in order to get this done, to be able to maintain that monster.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely, something that we would like to integrate at the beginning of the pipeline. Definitely more flexibility with the acceptable file types and integration with UiPath is definitely a plus and something that we're working towards.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. I can already give you like tens of customers if you like.
Oh, that would be
super
great.
happy
Yeah.
about something like this.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, yeah, looking to integrate this, if this could be a feature of Test Manager or something like that, that could be built in, that would identify modularity, that would be amazing.
We should start, yeah. Thanks a lot. It was really helpful. One of the sessions was, I mean, since you uploaded from Excel, you could also start reading from Test Manager test cases themselves. And that could be your source. And then the rest of it, I think just makes sense, completely usable, even if you just upload Test Manager test cases with the steps.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we save time. Thank you, OTOT Technologies. Let's quickly move on to the next team, agents, OO emissions. Darren, you can stop sharing. Yep, perfect. Marco and David, whenever you're ready.
Yes, 1 second.
Yep, take your time, no worries.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, now, perfect.
Okay, so we can start. Hello, everyone. We are Agent 00 Emissions, and today we're going to show you our solution, which is EcoTest Optimizer. I am Marco, and together with me there is Davide and Simone, who is going to present the live demo. So we can start by the problem setting. Currently, continuous testing plays a critical role in modern software delivery, but it is associated to some costs that are too high to ignore. And basically, there are two aspects. The first one is that test execution basically are responsible for more than 0.4 tons of CO2 yearly. And moreover, there is no urgency to try to optimize or address this topic. And at the same time, audit requirements continue to grow, and teams spend generally between 6 to 10 hours per each release in manually collecting evidence like logs, screenshots, and so on to prove what was tested and why it was tested. This also has impact in terms of transparency reported, which is necessary by the law. And in this scenario, we have developed our solution that addresses both issues. So an agent-driven testing pipeline that decides when to run and how to prove. And this solution is based on two agents. The first one leverages on a CO2 forecast to schedule test when the environmental impact is the lowest possible, is the best one. And the second agent generates audit-ready reports with complete structured evidence. It gathers data from test results and add to the report reasoning by consulting the context grounding documents on the documentation, which is provided by the Q&A and the ESG team that can be, for instance, testing guidelines, usage policy, or sector-specific practices that are used to enrich the report. Now, I can leave the stage to Simone that is going to present our solution live.
Thank you, Marco. I will share my screen now. Okay, so let me know if it's visible. Oh,
yes.
Okay. First and foremost, this is the pipeline, but before this pipeline, there is a bot that connects to a public API and download historical data of CO2 emission for the geographical area of the server. For example, we use a server on AWS, so located in Dublin. So we retrieve the data of CO2 emissions historically and hourly of this server. For this process, we store this data in Data Fabric, and we use Electricity Map, that is an API completely free, but can be easily extended to Amazon CloudWatch, Google Cloud Monitoring, or Azure Monitor. So before this premise, the agentic pipeline starts with CI trigger. Okay, this CI trigger is connected to a pull request merged on GitHub, and when this agentic automation starts, the first step is the forecast of the next 24 hours, done with a Python code in RPA bot, and we use a Prophet from Meta to predict a time series from the historical data stored in Data Fabric. And after this RPA is finished, forecast the next 24 hours, and this 24 hours with the relatives CO2 emissions is passed to the scheduler test agent. So this agent right here, you can see that it takes a little bit to run, but the agent the task is to schedule the test set. That is this one right here. Okay, so as you can see, this agent transform the data as a different tasks to do, transform the data, parse the data to a correct timestamp for the API calls from UiPath orchestrator, derive the QuartzCon expression that can be used in the API calls from UiPath orchestrator. And after that, calls a tool called RPA API test schedule that schedule the test execution. Is connected right here. We use the UiPath API from the Swagger. And after this scheduling, so schedules the test set execution in the lower the window with the lower carbon emission. And after that, there is a third step that launch test cases in this workflow right now is skipped, but is an API workflow that uses the UiPath API to retrieve when the test execution ID is finished. So when the one that we scheduled right here, we check when this test execution is finished, and after that pass the data to this second agent that generates the final reports with this agent right here. As you can see, retrieve the data from with the UiPath API from orchestrator, retrieves the data and retrieves the test cases, the screenshots, the statuses of the test cases, and automatically generates two documents. One focused on environmental metrics, how much CO2 was used during the run, how much could be saved. And the second one is an audit style report with all test results, timestamps, screenshot, pass and fail status, errors, ready to be reviewed. In this case, is better to review because it's in plain text and not so graphically pleasant, but you can send it directly to the stakeholders. There is also an introductory section in this second report with the implication for every test case grouped by category. After that, both of these documents right here is I have a problem. It's gone correctly all day, but right now it's got a problem. Okay. After that, we send a report by email. So this to report right here. As I can show you this one right here. I've done the launch 10 minutes ago. So this evidence dossier is the one that is created with the audit implication for every type of test cases with all the screenshots. In this case, it needs to be reviewed for the formatting of the word style. And the other one is for the CO2 disclosures. So with all the green intensity, energy consumed, and so on and so forth. These two are two templates, so it can be changed when we need it, and after that we can use this framework, this wrapper, also for launch maybe the processes, RPA processes, or something else. It's not only for the test cases. So I can stop the sharing and leave Marco to finish the conclusion.
Yes. So just to finish, one sec. Okay. Just to finish, our solution is basically not just automation, but it's, we can say, a smarter model for testing. We have obtained some benefits, which are, for instance, the CO2 footprint optimization, because just by optimizing the test, we can cut almost by 70% of the emission related to testing, but also have reports that are accurate and precise. Also, once again, related to time saved, because I can relate to the 6 to 10 hours that I presented at the beginning. In this case, it's not more necessary. And lastly, it's a sector or industry agnostic. So you can add different documents, as Simone has shown before, different document, different policies, and the report will adapt dynamically. And yeah, so run at the right time and prove everything. And that's it for us. And thank you very much. And yeah, thanks. We are open for your questions.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Quick question. Yes. Yeah.
I have a question. I mean, are we optimizing to run the right kind of test cases, right number of test cases, or are we optimizing also to find the right time slot when the carbon emissions would be less in the next 24 hours? Or are we doing both?
Yeah, right now only the 24 hours, but the evolution of this process is also check the diff from GitHub and run only the test cases useful for the to test. And we have 3 evolutions right now in pipeline. One is this with the GitHub diff. One is the format of the Word documents, and the other one is to amplify this process, also this agentic automation, also for the RPA processes, and not also only for the testing processes.
And is there some amount of understanding of how much, when you say carbon emissions are low, we are not counting for how long this particular test set is going to run or what emissions this is going to cost? That we're not accounting for, right? It's just on the basis of the historical data that we decided on the predictions. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Understood. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
We'll quickly move to the next team. Are you ready, Team Avalon?
Hello, everyone. Nice to be part of this. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, please go ahead.
Perfect. So before I want to start, I want to start with a story. In the Arthur's saga, Avalon is the enchanted island where Excalibur was forged, a place of power, precision, and renewal. Our Avalon UiPath agent is the Excalibur of synthetic test data, forged to solve one of the hardest problems in quality engineering, generating data that is GDPR compliant, business consistent, and audit ready. Avalon generates dynamic, traceable, and production-like test data. Today, our team shows you how Avalon cuts through test complexity like a blade. But before I hand over and show the team, I want to let the agent speak for itself.
Avalon, your AI agent, which generates synthetic test data.
Yeah, data is so important because great quality starts with great test data. So I'm happy that you can meet Avalon, our UiPath agent that dynamically generates those test data, as I already said. And it's fully integrated with another product called the Test Data Orchestrator, which is a Jira Marketplace add-on, which is ideal for banks, RegTech, and any other advanced automation pipeline. So who generated or who created Avalon? It's actually those fantastic 4. It is actually a co-production of the private bank LGT of Liechtenstein and Infometis. Together, we have almost 100 years of experience in testing. And yeah, without any further ado, I want to hand over to Johannes, which will show you a live demo of the solution.
So forgot to mute myself, sorry. So you should probably see my screen and my face. So thanks, Serge, for this wonderful introduction. Before we're running out of time, I show you the results. I was asking Ingo a while ago after presentation in Munich if I have, he asked me if I have to look at the evaluation sets, and that's the part where I want to start. This is the best part of it all. So we are close to seeing what the output is. So actually what we have as an input is the mandatory parameter mail, and we're generating a series of objects in terms of business partners, that's the abbreviation BP, persons, addresses, and so on. So this is critical for all bank transactions, that you have a structure of related objects, which you need in all kind of trading or whatever applications. The most important part is, and to be honest, you can see the sequence of the LLM
you have
calls.
To share the screen, Johannes.
Okay, I'm not sharing, sorry. You share. Okay, can you see my screen now? And it should be studio. Okay,
yes,
thank you so much. Okay, sorry. That's what I wanted to say is the input to these, the minimum, the mandatory parameters is the agenda, and the rest, for example, here we have, say, a series for create the customer who is 40 years old, coming from Liechtenstein, has 2 money accounts split across 2 currencies. Yeah, and this is optional. So everything the client needs to do is, or the developer needs to do is to come in with male or female, and the rest is done by the agent. The story to this whole thing is that we initially started with context grounding and were completed after a week, because creating a simple Word file and uploading it to context grounding in the UiPath cloud was sufficient. So it did well. Then we increased and generated source code, the PL SQL code, which actually invoked Avalon, the core banking solution, which also worked with a single Word file as a source code. And then we searched and together with Informatics found an agentic approach, or agentic challenge. And this challenge is to provide an interface to each and every developer in our house or to partners. And now we demoed the whole thing, including this autopilot for everyone. So the only thing that the developer and a user has to do is type in, generate a mail, and these additions. And you see all these primary key, foreign key relations are there, and even these are real addresses. And if you generate 2 addresses, they relate to each other and so on. Now I will show you the agent running to reshape this whole thing a bit. And I will start with a simple demo running, generate a female. I hope I get it right, from Paris. In the meanwhile, I can tell you what we also learned is, so we started discussions about, is it worth spending time on optimizing the system prompt using autopilot, which is built into the product, versus spending more. The problem is it doesn't give much, because the system as it comes with UiPath is really great. Why? Because you get support from the autopilot for everyone, including this product, which helps you to optimize your prompt. And I recently realized that you can also simulate certain steps, and got this guardrails thing. And one thing I wanted to mention before you see me going down these tool calls is this age escalation thing. And age escalations is a simple thing where we took care of, because we passed the security report this morning, where you have to take care of prompt injection thing. This is the same thing as SQL injection, where we have, let's say, attacks on our prompts. And in this case, we have an escalation. If we generate data for a customer, or a BP in this case, a business partner, who is too young and we are not allowed to use it in our systems. This can be done with context grounding countries and all this kind of variations. It's very satisfying watching this thing. And the reason why it's taking so long is because we have spent a single line of code for invoking, it's down there, to generating all this kind of test data. These are flat tables, the business partners and so on, down to the money accounts. And as you can see here, all these primary keys, the gender, first name, they all relate to each other, and they're using country specific, for example, the Maria Garcia in Spain, Barcelona, and so on, and it's working fine. Serge, anything that I forgot to mention? I'm a little bit excited. Help me. You're still muted, by the way.
Yeah, I was searching the button. No, for sure you did, but I'm also quite excited how it's working, and I think it was really cool to do that together with you guys. Working with a private bank in this context is a thing in itself. So what you see here is really a lot of work. Yeah, but probably there are some questions.
Yes, please.
Ingo, you want to go first? I see you're unmuted.
Now you are.
Can't hear you.
I can do it. So my question was, this data is still synthetic data. It honors some kind of geo boundaries, and that's the reason you said this is GDPR compliant data, right?
Yes.
And once this data is generated, you also see this getting utilized further for your test cases, either in external systems or within your UiPath systems. How do you plan to utilize that further?
Maybe Serge, you want to take this question?
Yeah, it's actually what you see here. That is, you can use that actually with any test automation tool, but I strongly recommend to use UiPath for that. And you can use it also for manual testing as well. All those data you will see here which of this test data has already been used, which is being used right now. So that is already production ready to use. So it already gives benefits right now. And it saves, I mean, coming to this whole process, generating this test data or finding this test data, especially with banking systems, is taking the biggest time chunk of the whole testing process. So this will save a lot of time in this process. I would say at least 70 to 80%.
And for you to begin with, this is completely synthetic. There is no sample sets that you would have to provide as context to this entire logic.
I can show you what I did. I'm going back to this thing. I provided 2 examples, but it wasn't necessary. So by the time we started initially with context grounding only, and I was sitting there making notes during these meetings. So what kind of objects do we need? We need a BP, we need a business partner, a person, an address. And they're all related one to many. And it takes at least a BP and several persons and so on. I made note of it, written down in Word, uploaded this Word file to context grounding and said, please generate a sequence of a BP, several persons, for example, man, wife, and living in Austria, having a second address in Switzerland, and so on. And it started to generating this. Then I came up with the idea, okay, as we're writing this to a relational database, as we're working with Oracle internally, they will come, you have to create the BP first, and then you have to create the person. You know, the sequence is important. What you're gonna do if this happens? So, okay, come on, let's do this. The challenges we had were simple. For example, if you see these UIDs there, they tended to be not unique if you invoke the agent twice because it gets into this caching mode. So that's the reason why we came in with these old-fashioned, let's say old-style, these deterministic workflows from RPA that are executed each time. And recently I also found out they have this simulate thing in there where we could save the tokens when we're executing the stuff, and we don't have to deploy it each time. So every day I'm encountering new things. So we presented this internally across the whole department, more than 100 people, and you know, the feedback was, when can we start generating test data with our chat mode? Because as a developer, they usually have to create a template, and we have, in our department alone, we have more than 60 templates. Yeah, this is a pain. You have to maintain them, you have to discuss them, you have to learn new employees. Now they're just chatting.
Wonderful. That's great.
It's really fantastic. I just want to leave one comment here for Serge and Johannes. I think it's It's just another big problem that's being addressed here. And Sergio, I would even go further than what you said in the beginning. You know, it's like better quality comes from better data. I would say that there is even no test without any data. So that's like so fundamental to the testing business, and that's what being addressed. I would love to give you kind of my naive view on how this could be extended based on, you know, the experience I have had with Avalon in the past 10 years ago. Is like extending it to other, you know, objects, like, you know, extending it to the cash accounts, the custody accounts you have all there, to the trades and things like that, you know. That's what I've seen, for example, especially during manual exploratory testing often comes up. So if that's like extendable to these type of objects, that would be just awesome. So thank you so much for putting all this together.
Thank you.
Final question to Ingo, if you mind, a quick one. I'm wondering to see how Test Manager will remain its position against this thing here. This is really great. So they have many things in common. I'm really excited to see that.
Absolutely. So this agent already is a hard competition for us. So we'll try to catch up, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarge and Johannes. And we now move to the last team. Excited? So, Hackaholics, when you're ready.
Yep, I'll share my screen. I hope you can see my screen.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Hi, good morning, good evening, everyone. On behalf of our team Hackaholics, I would like to thank UiPath for giving us this opportunity to present the idea, Quick Assist. So for one of our healthcare clients, we already have implemented RPA bots, and they have got around 10 to 20 VMs on which every morning they have to do some sanity and compliance checks before running those robots. And due to some Windows patching and group policies, which are scheduled to run every night, it can also impact the working of the VMs and even the robots. So we picked up their pain area for our solution, and we have created a solution, Quick Assist. It can also be a good fit for other services. For example, there are a lot of checks like non-compliant applications or softwares being present in the systems, or there can be antivirus checks or registry checks, or there can be certain services which are running on the systems which should actually not be running. So all these issues can lead to compliance issues, which can result to security risk, higher support costs, and etc. Plus, these compliance testing, these are either performed manually or they are completely skipped in some companies. And it can also lead to delayed issues detection. So to address all these solutions, to address all these problems, we have built a dual agent solution. Our first agent is the compliance test agent. What it will do is, it will get the computer information, like it would get all the information from the systems. It would check the test case index file where we have test cases and their details mentioned. It would check if these test case details are satisfied. That's good. If they're not satisfied, it would create tickets on the on an ITSM platform. And for our solution, we are using the Jira one. And our second agent is the ticket resolution agent. It would get the details of those tickets. It would assign the priority to those tickets, and it would either suggest a fix, and it would refer to the second index. It would check if the issue is present there, and if a quick resolution is mentioned, it would paste that resolution in the ticket. If there's a RPA workflow mentioned, it would call that RPA workflow. And if the issue is not present, it would just pull the human in the loop through action app, which we have created. Okay. If I talk about the solution architecture, the first is the compliance testing and validation, which is done through our first agent, the compliance test agent. The workflows are developed using Studio and Studio Web, and we are we are using PowerShell scripts as well. It would check those test cases. It would, find if those test cases are passing or failing. In case of failures, it would raise those tickets onto the platform. The second next part will be the ticket ingestion and pre-processing. This would be when it would get the details of those tickets from the ITSM platform. It would pre-process that data. Next would be the ticket understanding and classification. This is done with the help of the second agent, which would categorize the tickets. It would set the priorities. It will check if there's a possibility of auto resolution with the help of the index file. Otherwise, it will pull the human in the loop with the through the action center. Okay, and the last one would be the learning and feedback. So the second ticket resolution agent, it continues to improve itself through the human in the loop comments. I'll quickly showcase solution. So when the solution starts running, it would trigger the compliance test agent. And the first thing the compliance test agent does is, it would get the information from our systems. Right now, it's running from on my system, so it would get all the details from there. It would get the all the operating system details, the BIOS details, and everything. And for example, and right now, one thing to notice here, right now my time zone is IST. So after that, it would get the index file where we have the test cases mentioned. It would compare the test cases. It would check, okay, if they are satisfied, well and good. If they're not satisfied, it would create a ticket for that. So for example, the required time zone was UTC, but right now mine is IST. So it would create a ticket for that on Jira. Yeah. Next would be, it would get the ticket details. It would get the details of all the tickets which are created on Jira. Then the ticket resolution agent would trigger. It would, read the tickets one by one. It would get all the details from there. It would, pre-process the ticket details data, and it would check the index file. If a quick resolution is mentioned, it would paste that into the ticket. If a workflow is mentioned, it would call that workflow. So for the time zone thing, it had a workflow mentioned. It would call the change time zone. And this has, set the time zone to UTC here. Okay. And after that, it would update the ticket with the necessary comments as well. And if I show you the ticket as well. So it has, updated the tickets with the required comments. If I talk about the benefits of our process, of a solution, it can automate the compliance testing end to end. We can even add more checks to different PowerShell scripts as well. The ticket creation is done automatically when the test case fails. The end-to-end test to fix process is also automated. So for all the failed tickets, they'll be handled. And for all the known issues, there are faster fixes, because if those issues resolutions are present in the index, it would just quickly fix those issues. And then there's less manual work for the IT teams. And we are this is a scalable solution as well, and we are looking forward to implement this for our own customer as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's quite useful. I think it would be scaled to multiple different kinds of IT issues, at least in this case, that IT teams would want their employees to have. But yeah, overall, I think we covered all the patterns here. Thank you.
Yeah, same here. I think just another proof how colorful the software testing activity is. and now with a deep dive here on compliance testing. Honestly speaking, I would already be happy with your solution without the fixing part, because as a software tester, you know, my goal is not to fix anything, to make people aware of problems, and that's what you already did. So you could zoom in more on that and provide more details about that. Let the fixing, you know, do some other department with some other agent. That's what I would say as a, as a software tester. No, awesome solution. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, I think we are at the close of our of the finale. I see all the participants are still around, so everyone is curious on what other teams are also doing. Some really cool ideas that have come out, some really good feedback as well. So Amol, Andrea, Ingo, any comments for all the participants or the finalists, everyone who is here? How was your experience? How did you feel? Anything you would want to add?
I have an easy one. I have an easy one. You know, sorry, Andrea, go on. I'm speaking too much.
No, I was just going to say thank you to all the participants. We've seen some great uses of Agentic AI here, and I really appreciate seeing all of them because I got a lot of ideas for our own team.
Yeah, fully agree. And I think, Rohit, now it's on us, right? Because, you know, there's one thing I would love to see, that other people see this amazing work, right? It shouldn't be like in this closed room, because I mean, what you just built, all this, what was it now, 7, 8 different type of agents we've seen today. I mean, they're all addressing really different, important problems. And I think those, especially in large organizations, are being seen by any testing team. So therefore, you know, I'm happy to support you guys with, you know, bringing this message out in the market. Thank you so much again.
Yeah, I completely concur with that. I guess the biggest challenges that most of the teams now have is, you know, with all of these AI capabilities, how do we use it in the best possible way? And that's where this creativity comes in. And joining such meetings, I think we just learn about so many new ways in which the platforms and the frameworks can be used. So really, thank you for presenting all of these, and I think we have some good ideas. And probably, like Ingo said, we'll reach out to some of you to know more about how we could work together.
Yes. A request to all the participants, if you haven't already done that, please do share your presentations with Andrea, who has been communicating about this hackathon with you. It would be good. I mean, our jury members have shown interest to, you know, deep dive into the solutions that you have, and also connect with you to explore how we can really take this forward. Also, this as you might have noticed, as part of this hackathon, we had asked you all to post your solutions on forum, and it's made public. The idea is not to, you know, the idea is to ensure that these solutions don't end up, as Ingo mentioned, in a closed room, just within other team members. And once the competition or the hackathon is over, it's done. No, we want to make sure that this really, you know, is out there. Next year, when we do the AgentHack, we want to make sure that, you know, some, if not you yourself, some other teams build on top of the solutions that you have built, and, you know, take it to the next level as well. So if you haven't already done that, please do promote what you have done on your own channels across your own platforms. You know, I'm sure there are many people who would be, you know, getting a lot of value from these things that you have already shared. So so congratulations to all. Just a quick you know, note before we wrap. Just a sec. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm sharing the last the screen. So you might have already known. So we will announce the winners on August 11th. I'm not just talking about the top 3 in this category. All the awards that I spoke about earlier will be announced on August 11th. So please stay tuned. Keep working on your solution. If there is an opportunity for you to make a marketplace component out of it, please do go ahead and do that. Let's make sure that this gets into the hands of as many people as possible. Yes, that's all. I would request the jury members to stay back so that we can just convene and connect. Everyone else, thank you so much. Have a good day, good night. I see a lot of people from India and it's getting late. So yes, see you soon and all the best for August 11th.
Thank you, everyone.
I'll stop the recording.